Good morning, children. Hope you have understood the Bonsai Life part 2, session 1. We go with the session 2 of Bonsai Life part 2. Before that, we go with the glossary. First one, dust storm, a mass of dust and sand carried by air. Second, dragged, pull along carefully. Third one, harshly, roughly. Fourth, stunned, shocked. Fifth, canopy, cover fixed over something for shelter. Sixth, bonds crept, move quickly. Seventh, respite, a short period of rest. Not, zero. Squall, a strong wind. Before we start the lesson, let me recap the session 1 of part 2 Bonsai Life. So, what has happened in session 1 is that Akkaya was shocked when she has seen a small tree growing in flower pots. Amlu informs that this is a special art of making the plant by stopping their growth, trimming, and saying that this is bonsai method. Akkaya was not impressed, and seeing that, Amlu felt very bad because her work was not appreciated by Akkaya. So then what happened? We will go with the today's session. Now children, open your textbooks and look into your textbooks with your pencil in your hand. So we go with the third line because we stopped there. Suddenly, a dust storm began to rage. The sand hit our faces harshly. I caught hold of Akaya's shoulder and dragged her into the room. Then I closed the doors and windows in a hurry. So, after knowing everything, the bonsai method and the plant, how caringly she has grown, Akaya, she did not appreciate. So Amalu felt very bad and she was almost in a most disturbed mood. She heard suddenly there was a dust storm which has come very fastly. Children, I will show you the picture of dust storm. See, dust storm, it is a mixture of sand and dust carried away by air. Okay, children, is that clear? Yeah. So it has started very fast and hit their faces very harshly. That means the sand has hit their faces very harshly. So by seeing this, Amalu, she dragged her sister by carrying her shoulder into her room. Immediately after dragging Akaya into the room, she closed the doors and windows so that the dust will not enter into their rooms or the house. By seeing this, Akaya was stunned. Akaya got shocked. Okay, children? Now we go with the reading of next part. What's all this? Everything was normal till now. Where did the dust and wind come from? Suddenly, you have tar roads too, she said. That means by seeing all this, Akaya asked Amlu, what's all this? Where from this dust has come from suddenly when they have tar roads and not like urban roads, which is full of with sand. Then we go with the next reading. This is how it is in the big city, my dear. Before we know what is happening, the storm brings all the sand from the Rajasthan desert and hits our face. I had not completed my sentence when I could hear the rain beginning to fall. That means Amlu says that though this is a city, even city has also the dust that is carried forward from the Rajasthan desert, which is very nearby. So this made us the storm enter into the city. Before completing her sentence, she could hear the rain coming or beginning to fall. Yes, children. Now we'll continue the reading. I opened the doors and pulled the bonsai tree pots and flower pots inside under the canopy. When she heard the falling of raindrops, what Amlu has done is that she has opened the doors. Immediately, she has taken her bonsai plant, which is present in the balcony, inside under the canopy. I'll show you the picture of canopy, children. This is canopy. This is a place where you can keep something for shelter. So she kept the bonsai plant under the canopy. And what happened? We'll go next. Akaya opened side window and uh, looked at the streets to observe the weather in the Indian capital. Look, Amalu, look there, she said. A new enthusiasm seemed to have crept into her voice. I looked eagerly through the window towards the street. I couldn't understand what she meant. Sorry, a new enthusiasm seemed to have crept into her voice. I looked eagerly through the window towards the street. I couldn't understand what she meant. I looked at her and said, "What's it? What is it?" So that means when it was raining, Akaya opened the window and looked at the streets to observe the weather of the Indian capital, that is at Delhi. Then immediately Akaya called Amlu to see the weather and to look out. With great enjoyment in her voice, even Amlu looked over the street eagerly. But Amlu, she couldn't find out any special for Akaya's enthusiasm. And saying that even Amlu sees outside, where she couldn't find any specialty at outside, Akaya asks Amlu to look out. We go with the read. Look at that tree. Look at how many people are standing under it without getting wet. She said, as if it was something out of the ordinary. I saw nothing unusual in it. This means when Amlu was asked to look at the tree, and when Amlu looked, it was like it was not like special. She has seen that many people are standing under the tree by not getting wet, and which is not special. So Amlu did not find out any special at the outside. When by seeing her face, Akaya, realizing that I had not understood what she was getting at, she said again. By seeing her face, Akaya said that to look outside again. Then what she said, we'll go in the reading. Look how tall that tree has grown out in the open. See how freely it has grown. However powerful the sandstorm, it hasn't bowed a little bit. Moreover, it has provided shelter to so many people and is protecting them. Imagine how many would find respite from the hot sun under its shade. So, when Akaya knowing that her sister not understanding anything, she asks Amalu to see three plant which has grown tall and freely grown in open. She also says that how strong the sandstorm powerful it withstood and has not moved a little bit. Bow is to bend. So children, it has not moved a little bit. Moreover, it has provided shelter to so many people and protecting them. Akaya asks Amalu to imagine how many people would take and rest under the tree even when it is hot also. Amalu informed that it is common. So we go with the reading again. So what is so surprising about that? I asked. So not that it is surprising, Amlu. Look at the bonsai you have tended so lovingly. It looks proper and sweet like a housewife. But see how delicate it is. You have to tend it very carefully. It can't even withstand a small dust storm or squall. So, when it is hot, what specialty is there in looking at the tree which has grown outside? When Amlu asked, then Akaya explains that to look at her bonsai, which has tended so lovingly and been cared very carefully, it looked proper and sweet like a housewife. Okay, children. Now she compares the bonsai. Here there a connection between bonsai and housewife. Now we go with the reading. You have tended it very carefully. It can't even withstand a small dust or squall. That means the bonsai tree which he has grown cannot withstand even a small dust storm also. When compared with the tree which is grown outside, see, I'll show you the tree. See, for how many people it has given shade to many people, but the bonsai plant was kept under canopy. So she compares the tree which has grown outside and the tree which has grown inside with a special care. Then we go with the reading. It can't even withstand a small dust storm or squall. When it is dependent on someone, how can it provide shelter to anyone? Isn't it because of the difference in the way one brings up a boy and a girl? That's a woman's life is like that of a bonsai. Here, by seeing the difference, the growth of the bonsai plant and the tree which has grown at the roadside, she compares the bonsai plant or the bonsai tree life with the women's life. She wanted to say that bonsai is dependent. That is, when it started raining, Amlu runs and gets inside to bring under the canopy. That means they are not able to withstand, and this is the way housewives are always dependent on their husbands. Akaya says that the method of bonsai is very delicate and to show a lot of caring. But what happened is it cannot withstand even a sandstorm or a squall. So when itself is dependent, how can it provide shelter to anyone, which is a normal function of a tree? So bonsai is like a dependent on someone, which is Akaya connects this bonsai life to the upbringing of a boy and a girl. Is that the boy and the girl growing up in different manner? children. Here we can see the general tendency of growing, making the girl growing and the boy growing in a family. Boy can go outside, can roam at by any time, and he can come to home at any time. Whereas the same, if we take the case in that of a girl, she should not go out and she should not talk much for more time. She should be always in the home. So there will be always the difference in upbringing the child, though it is a girl or a boy, always makes the difference. So many girls should be always at home, every parent says, and boy can go and anywhere and can enjoy his life how much they want. But that will not happen to the life of a in case of a girl. So Akaya says that woman's life is always like a bonsai. That means she is always cared or looked after by somebody. That is always the life of a woman's is dependent on somebody in some stage also, like the bonsai. Yes, children, hope you have understood the connection between bonsai life and that of a woman's life. Bonsai life is also cared and trimmed, stunned their growth, the same like the women. Women, she should not study more. We cannot see this in cities life, but we can see this life of a woman purely at urban areas. In villages, she will not be carried forward to a higher studies, and says in especially that what is there for a girl to read and go for the jobs. Yes, children. So they make always they make the women's life always dependent on father at one period, husband at the other period. So always they will be caring. So she compares, the poet, the author here compares the life of women with the bonsai. Hearing this, we go with the last lines. My heart was touched by Akaya's words, just as one frees a bird from a cage to let it fly. I felt the urge to free the bonsai trees from their flower pots. That means, hearing these Akaya words, Amlu was much attached to her words, and just as one frees the bird from the cage to let it fly freely, Amlu's heart also felt to free the trees from the flower pots. That means even she has felt the difference between the bonsai plant and the plant which grows at the outside. So she, when even she wanted or urged wanted to free the bonsai trees from their flower pots, so that these trees, the bonsai tree plant, will get changed to the freely growing paw tree from these flower pots. Hope you have understood the lesson, children. We go with the see. Just I have shown you pictographically that the life of a woman, though she does many works, it is equal to the bonsai life. I hope you have understood. We go with the question answers. First question: why did Amru dragged her sister into her room? As answer, as there was a sudden dust storm, Amlu dragged her sister into her room. Second question, what for Akaya felt enthusiastic? Answer goes, when Akaya saw the tree growing big and freely at outside, she felt enthusiastic. Third question, or is a fill in the blank. Bonsai life is compared to the life of a girl's life or a housewife. Fourth question, why did Akaya explain the life of bonsai with housewife? Akaya answer. Akaya explained that both bonsai plant life and housewife are seen as both are dependent. Fifth question, is this title apt for this lesson? Yes, the title is apt as the unit deals with the women empowerment, and the life of bonsai is compared to the life of housewife. She needs Unit deals with the empowerment of the girls, that the girl should get educated and she should be an individual, and hence the title is apt for this lesson. Hope you have understood my lesson, children. I say thank you.